There's a version of you that you are not yet, but that's okay, because today we're gonna change that. Guys, we are back with another video on how to become a new version of you this season. Now, what is the season? Listen, right now when you're watching it, it's essentially autumn, okay? We are preparing for autumn, for fall. It is September. Naturally, we are shifting back, maybe going back to school. We're starting new jobs. We have new goals for ourselves. We are transforming. And I think that when we are all feeling this energy, it's really good to solidify it by actually sitting down and creating a vision for who we want to become in the next few months. What is our self-concept like? What goals are we going to want to actually hit? How can we become that person who hits those goals? Setting the vibes, getting ourselves in that energetic state of the new version of us. And listen, everything that you have right now in your life is a manifestation of who you currently are. Okay? So thinking about the career, thinking about the money in the bank account, thinking about the relationships, thinking about the friendships, thinking about the health. This is not to blame ourselves, okay? Nothing is ever going to be perfect in our lives, but many of the things that are currently happening or are presenting itself in our lives right now is because of who we are right now. The thoughts that we think, the habits that we are currently doing, who we have allowed in our lives, how we have allowed people to treat us, the music that we're listening to, the mood boards that we have made, everything that we have right now is really just a manifestation of who we have been. So there is a vision that you hold of yourself that is not someone that you currently are right now. So in order for you to become that person, it's time to change. And listen, I personally am somebody who is always evolving and always changing. So I'm right here with you guys. I actually went through the process of honestly just kind of rebranding and becoming a new version of me and getting very clear of who it is that I want to embody in the next season. And essentially, I like to think about this as a process of becoming her. I think you guys have heard of that many times on YouTube. This whole becoming her, becoming the woman of your dreams, becoming your dream, whatever. Listen, if you are not a woman, that is fine because this whole video can still apply to you, but just know that I'm just gonna be saying maybe like becoming her, who is she, or dream girl, whatever. So I'm feeling very inspired in my life right now. I feel like I've already stepped into this new version of me and I'm working on her every single day. So we are gonna go through some of the steps that I took to start embodying this new version of me right now so that you can do the same. Questions that you can ask yourself, things that you should be focusing on. We're gonna talk about mood boards. We're gonna talk about setting the vibes. Don't you worry. I did a video on how to change your identity this summer or something of the sort and you guys loved that. So this is not the exact same template in the same structure because I do want to talk a lot about self-concept, but either way, we are becoming the best versions of ourselves this season. Let's go. Okay, so first let's just let go of the person that we have become. All of the faults, maybe the failures that you think that you had, which are not really failures. All the things that aren't going right in your life, all the relationships that are not the best, the money that you didn't get, or the money that's just not there, or like the success that maybe you have not got yet. Okay, that's okay. Let's just let it go and let's start fresh. So let's think about the person that you want to become this season. And let's just keep it at seasons because we can think about our 1 year, our 3 year, our 5 year plan and who we want to be in 3 years. But let's just talk about like this season. So right now it's autumn. We will talk about like the last 3 months of the year, or technically 4, September, October, November, December. So thinking about some of the goals that you probably have in the next season of your life, right? Many of us, we have financial goals. We probably have relationship goals in some capacity, whether it's like being happy outside of a relationship or getting in a relationship, whatever it is, money goals, confidence goals, health goals. We all basically want it all, right? So just thinking for a moment, the girl who has all the things that you want, who is she? What is her identity? So I'm gonna read out some of the things that I came up with, like a list of things so that you can kind of journal on. So you can take your journal, you can do this now, you can do this later, and really sit here and think about who is the girl that I want to be? Okay, so who is she? How does she dress? What does she look like? What are her wellness habits? What are her weekly routines? What are her boundaries? What is her mental diet? What is her focus? Where is she living? Who is she dating? What is her career? What does her social profile look like? What shows does she watch? What successes and what accomplishments does she have? How much money does she have? What does she consume on social media? How do people treat her? Who does she inspire to be like? What does she spend her free time doing? Asking yourself these deep, important questions. So I'm gonna give you a few examples just of my own new version of me. So I have a lot of goals when it comes to my fitness, especially regarding my glute strength, my lower back strength, and my core strength so that I'm not in pain. And so aesthetically, yes, I'm looking as strong and as fit as I possibly can be. I have a lot of goals when it comes to my career and growing my channels, my podcast channel, as well as my YouTube channel. If you didn't know, I have a podcast, the Glow of Secrets podcast. Links will be down below. I have a certain standard that I really want to continue to embody when it comes to my romantic relationship. Obviously, I have certain financial goals. So thinking about my goals, I have written down, who is she? She has strong glutes, lower back, and core. She takes weekly Pilates. She weight trains. She walks a lot. She has a consistent stretching routine. She is cherished and she is cared for in a relationship. She's also obsessed with when it comes to being in a relationship, but in a healthy way, guys. I'm not trying to have my man all super like toxically obsessed with me. That's just how I try to view myself. And she's prioritized every day in her relationship. She has a huge impactful podcast on all platforms that people tune into every week as a comfort listen, to awaken themselves, to be guided. She spends her days taking care of her health by listening to her body, making time for self-care, taking her supplements, drinking her water, because girls, I have been slacking on drinking my water. I do not drink water. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. So this is why I'm not just like putting these things in just because like Pinterest tells me to put it in, right? Like you go on Pinterest and like how to become her, like they all say like drink 8 glasses of water and like do your skincare. Yes, you can do that, but like for me personally, like that is a very specific goal and like somebody that I really want to be, because I'm not that, right? So it's like, you know, there's a lot of things in here that I either am not, or I am in some capacity and I want to continue to strengthen that, or I want to continue to solidify the way that I look at myself. Let's say getting prioritized in a relationship. I am prioritized, but I really want to solidify looking at myself like somebody who, yes, is always cherished and cared for and very much so prioritized. And the reason why I put this in here as well is because one of my stories when it comes to relationships is the fact that I am not always prioritized, or is the fact that I'm not committed to, or is the fact that, maybe I had this thought that I wasn't lovable, all of these old limiting beliefs. So it's also kind of good to see like what limiting beliefs you may have about yourself or about the world. And if you find that is impacting the way that you look at yourself, then obviously you want to affirm to yourself a new story, but we will get to that. A few other things that I have on here is she has incredible focus and can deep work for hours. That's something I really want to work on. I really want to stay focused and work for longer hours with not a lot of breaks in between. I want to focus on like not feeling like I have ADHD all the time and just like constantly checking phones and, on Instagram and all this kind of stuff. Another one is she is in love with herself, her process, her aesthetic. She literally thinks she is the it girl, okay? This is not, I repeat, this is not the season for you playing small. This is not the season for you not looking at yourself like you are the main character, like you are not the it girl. And I don't care. There's gonna be a part of you that's gonna think, oh, like, I don't wanna be self-absorbed. Listen, loving yourself and looking at yourself as like, oh my God, I'm amazing, is not being self-absorbed. And it is so backwards in this society. And I know some of the girls that we're talking about, like the Pinterest niche of like the girls who are like really narcissists and stuff. I'm not really talking about that, okay? We obviously care about other people, and like we don't need to say like F men in order to love ourselves. We can, and that's just an example of like men, but like, or F other girls, or everyone's in competition, whatever, in order to love yourself. No, you don't have to do that. But I really mean in general, like, it's very, very rare that any of us look in the mirror and say, you are good just the way that you are, and you are so cool, and everything that you do is amazing. And even if you mess up, like, honestly, who cares? Because you get up and you do the work, and how freaking amazing are you? And look at your process, and look at your aesthetic, and look at everything. Like, you are allowed to feel like that about yourself. Another one is she has mystery. She is not always accessible to people who want to come and go in her life. Another one, and this pertains really to just being a content creator, I wrote, she is confident in going out and filming herself in public, because that is definitely something that I want to get better at doing, is like taking clips of myself outside in public and just like little reels and stuff, because that's something that I really want to do, but sometimes it just feels a little bit like awkward to do that. I'll still do it, but it's a lot easier when you're with your friends and stuff, but that's something that I kind of want to work on. So again, all of these things are basically based off of the things that I really want to continue to either achieve in my life, or I just want to look at myself like somebody who is freaking amazing or who is worthy of X, Y, and Z. So I want you to sit down and think about the version of you that has what they want this season. What does she do? What does she think? What are her habits? What does she let into her life? What does she let go of? What is she not entertaining anymore? Now, step 2 is embodying her. You need to embody this person, okay? It's all fun and dandy to think about the girl of your dreams and like how she thinks and all the boundaries that she has, or the life that she has, or the person that she's dating, or the relationship that she has, or the career, whatever. But you actually have to start now becoming her. Now, in order for you to take those daily steps and actions in the goals and the masculine energy, right? Because when we think about feminine and masculine energy, there's that creative energy of the feminine, thinking about becoming her and like going on Pinterest or just like visualizing and you know, just taking your time with things. And I'm not saying the feminine energy isn't a form of taking action, it also is as well. But when it comes to actually taking action and becoming this person, you will need to have some sort of plan for you to actually become her. But before we do that, what I think helps with you being able to take action is to get excited, okay? To really embody this energy. So this is what I'm bringing it back to the feminine energy, like feeling creative, like seeing the vision, holding the vision, just changing your environment. I'm somebody who, I love visuals, okay? I love music, I love sounds, I love changing my environment. I need a lot of things to kind of like amp up this energy so that I can really catapult myself into becoming the best version of myself. Does this have to always be romanticized in order for you to take action? No. A lot of the people who are very masculine in the sense of like discipline and structure will say you don't need to have it all pretty and pink, just get up in the morning and go to the gym if you want to be a fitness girl. Like, yes, 100%. That is definitely the logical standpoint, and we will do that. But you know what? I want you to enjoy this process. I want you to enjoy your life and not just feel like you are disciplining yourself to the point where it ends up getting so tiring and so boring that you fall off your goals, or that you feel like life is just really, really hard. Like, I don't choose a life of hardship. I have lived a life of hardship for very long. And yes, there's gonna be times where things are hard and you're not gonna be motivated. But I think that, you know, especially women, but anyone really, we have this, honestly, anyone really. I'm just saying a woman because I am a woman, okay? But we have this human desire to make things look pretty and beautiful. And there's something just about beauty that really does motivate us, okay? That is the reason why there's so many aesthetics on Pinterest. There's a reason why there's so many YouTube videos and everyone loves the aesthetics that people do, or like showing your life, or even thinking about makeup or hair or fashion, or, you know, like self-care stuff, like all of these little things. Like, use those to allow you to embody this new version of you. So the first one, of course, without a doubt, we are going to make a mood board. So I'm gonna pop up my new mood board for autumn or the fall, which I literally love. It's like the perfect aesthetic for the vibe that I'm in right now. Now I'm gonna explain some of, I'll just explain all the photos because I did this last time and you guys liked it. I will also have a template so you can like make your own, but it's very simple, and I'll even tell you after this so you don't have to even do that. You just do it on your own. I will say there's things that I did leave out when it came to like who is this version of me, because it's a huge long list and everything. You know, there's some things that are personal. But what I did for this mood board is I basically correlated to the journal entry that I had made about this version of me. So the first photo is actually me, and it's a me in this white fox hoodie, and I'm wearing headphones. This just reminds me of like a cool girl, like chill girl aesthetic. I really love that kind of aesthetic. I have many aesthetics in terms of fashion sense, but I am in the hoodie era. I'm just in the hoodie era. It makes me feel like I'm this girl who's like very productive and she gets her shit done and she's focused and she's going to the gym. She is tunnel vision. She is setting her goals for the day. She's waking up early. Like, that's the energy that that photo gives me. That is why I put it on there, because I want to continue to embody that energy. There's a little chair and it looks like kind of like a podcasting little nook. That is because simply I am going to be rebranding my podcast space, like in my office. That is actually not going to be the vibe at all. That's one thing I will say, is whatever you put on your mood board, don't attach to it so much, because this is what I used to do, especially when I was younger. I would put on like body goals, or I would put on like aesthetics, and if I didn't live up to that, or if I didn't look exactly like that, I felt like I was a failure. And I don't want you to think that. I don't want this to be toxic, okay? Understand, you will always, like, your season of life when you look back will be, it won't look exactly like this, but it will be even better because it will actually be you. So just please, just be careful with that, especially if you struggle with like body dysmorphia or just perfectionism, things like that, because I used to be really like obsessed with that and like hyper fixate on things like that. Anyways, so that is not actually how it's going to be at all. The chair that I got is actually blue, but I just wanted it to remind me of like the vibe of me just like setting that goal, whatever. Next one is a bunch of girls and they're out with umbrellas, and the person that I want to become, and honestly I am right now, I am many of these things already, but again, it's just about embodying that even deeper and going full force. And the version of me who is the it girl, who is my dream girl, she spends time with her friends, and this aesthetic also just reminds me of like content creator friends, like going out and taking photos in the city and just like fall stuff, which I plan to do with a lot of my content creator friends. So that's the vibe for that one. The coffee and the New York Times paper, like that's just, it's giving get your ass up and work. It's giving early morning. It's giving productive. It's giving just get your work done. And that is the energy that I am in. I am very in that masculine structure right now in my life. The aloe photo with the headphones, it's just lots of working out, lots of fitness, wellness. I really love that. I've always been into fitness and wellness, and I want to continue to have that be a part of my life. And I just love the aesthetic though. Honestly, like a lot of this stuff is just aesthetics. Like I genuinely want an aloe bag. Like genuinely, that's what I want for my gym bag. The girl that has like a little ponytail with the nice, like, it looks like a leather jacket with like fuzziness. I just think that is such a cool girl but put together fall outfit, and I feel like that's something I would definitely pull off, and maybe something that I would want to go for when it comes to fashion. And when I envision my dream version of me this autumn, I definitely see something like that. I see her in many different capacities, but one of them is that for sure. You can see this girl at the grocery store. It's giving like stealth mode, like very trench coat vibes. I actually would not wear that. But I would go to the market, and you guys know, maybe you don't if you don't follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, by the way, if you want to see my lifestyle and what I'm doing, what I'm eating, all that kind of stuff. But you guys know, for the most part, I'm really into eating holistically, eating high protein, just really fueling my body. Also this summer, I have really focused on sourcing my foods locally as much as I can from different markets and stuff. So that's why I put that on there, because I want to keep that same energy. Like I just still want to take care of myself in that way. And recently I tried spin, okay? And I kind of want to, I don't know, I might have to add something in here as well, because I'm going to be starting Pilates, and I think that I need to have a reformer in here. It doesn't really matter. But I put the spin bikes in here because this just represents to me any form of movement outside of what I usually do. So I do mainly weight training and then just stretching, and I do my walks all the time, and that's something that is like very normal for me. But I do want to incorporate kind of getting out of the house more, doing like a weekly spin class or a weekly Pilates class, just getting myself out. So that is why that's on there. And then of course I have the girl with the freaking strong ass glutes. That's the goal. And listen, like, yes, aesthetically, her body is amazing. I don't think that I have that body type per se. I mean, maybe, it doesn't matter. But that just represents to me strong glutes and a strong core, obviously in a lower back. And that is the goal that I have for my body. Just outside of aesthetics. I love a good muscular body. So that is the goal for me, like seriously. The hoodie aesthetic, I've just been, again, once in my hoodie era. This also gives like downtown girl vibes in a way, which I love. Like I want to do more going out downtown in the fall and the winter time, either getting photos or not, just exploring and just living my best life. And I also have this guy holding a bag of plants. And now the reason why I have that is because I want actual plants for my condo. As you can kind of see, it's a little bit bare, but another reason why I have that on there is it just represents for me furnishing my home. This is something that I want to do over the fall and the winter time. So again, this just represents homemaking essentially. So there's a lot of other things I could have put on here, and who knows, maybe I'll go in there and change it. But when you're making your mood board, this is what you can do. You can go onto Pinterest and you can type out any aesthetic that you want. So again, you're thinking about your dream girl visually, and even the life or what she does or where she spends her time. Is it coffee shops? Is it by the water? Is she like a beach girly? Because you do not need to be this like aesthetic cool girl vibe, right? You go on Pinterest, you can literally write in anything and put aesthetic behind it and you will find it. Like the cool girl aesthetic, the downtown aesthetic, the pink Pilates girl aesthetic, that girl aesthetic, Rory Gilmore aesthetic, literally any aesthetic, plant aesthetic, whatever type of vibe, personality that you have, you can find it on Pinterest. And then what you can do is you can go on Canva, and I will have this link to the template, and you can just like save it on your computer, and then you can copy whatever photo that you find on Pinterest, go back to the Canva template and simply just paste it on there and just like rearrange them so they look pretty. You don't have to be perfect with it. And then when you save it, you can just add it to your desktop by opening up your actual desktop, right-clicking usually, and then it should be like a wallpaper desktop thing. Add it to your desktop as a background. You can add it to your phone as well. You can be creative and go on Canva and do it yourself. Like it's not a hard thing to do. A lot of you guys ask me, and then set that vibe. So that's the mood board. You need to make one. I do not care. Have fun with it. Take your time. And also, if you feel comfortable, I want you to add it to your story on Instagram and then tag me because I want to see them. Okay, the next thing is playlists. So this is more setting the vibes. And I think for the most part, a lot of us listen to music. So I think this was important to put in here. But what I did and what I like to do usually is when I'm starting a new season of my life, especially like doing this type of work, I like to really pick out music that really can turn on that energy of who I think that person is and what they would be listening to. So again, for my mood board and for the girl that I want to be, she's really embodied, she's really aligned. So I picked a lot of songs that kind of represented that for me. Now that is gonna look completely different for you. So you just want to pick out the songs that make you feel like that version of you. So this is what I'll say. I would say kind of make a playlist. You can do it on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever, of songs that remind you of who this person is on your mood board. But you can even go as far as making specific playlists for certain goals that you have. Like for instance, for the part of me that is the fitness girly who does the weight training, who has that strong lower back and whatever, and she obviously goes to the gym, right? So I have a few specific playlists for the gym that always get me in the mood of weightlifting specifically. I don't need that playlist to go to spin class or to go to Pilates or to go on a walk. When I go on my walks, I usually have like certain podcasts for the walks and that energy so that I can channel like the hot girl walk energy. But when it comes to weightlifting, I do have those playlists. But in general, I just made it an actual playlist, and I usually play it in the morning and before I do anything regarding becoming her. Now on Spotify, I did make a new playlist, and you guys love my playlist on Spotify. So I'll have my Spotify link down below if you just want to follow and listen. And I want to talk about one song because I think it really is embodying the girl that I honestly am right now. And it's more the cool girl, the to herself, the lover girl in a way. It's almost giving like definitely autumn and fall vibes as well. And it's Snooze by SZA. Listen, I have been loving this song, but there's something about the song right now that just as soon as I play that, it's like I am her. Like you can't tell me anything else. That is me as soon as you play that song. And I have other songs on here too. I put Paint the Town Red because that's a good song right now. By the way, To Die For by Addison Rae, if you did not listen to that song, that is giving what it needs to give. So again, I'll have the link, but just make a playlist that, you know, hypes you up, whatever. I have like a hood girl playlist for my heavy weight training days because I absolutely need that. But I just think music is another way in which can really set off that vibe for us. And even if you want to think about setting your alarm in the morning as well, like any sort of sound can be very, very helpful to embody this girl. Next thing social media detox. And I don't just mean like cutting out social media or cutting out things. I also just mean incorporating new things as well into your realm of existence online. So depending on if you go on social media a lot or not at all, if you don't really go on at all, then great. But you usually know the things that make you feel like shit or the things that keep getting boring. So if you're finding you're always on Instagram or you're always on TikTok watching the same stories, start muting stories, start unfollowing people, start favoriting accounts that not only make you feel good, but also inspire you to be this version of you. Even on your Pinterest, start pinning new photos so that you get that new vibe. And every single time that you open up your Pinterest, which I honestly think if you're going to go on social media in the morning, which I don't recommend, obviously, go on Pinterest instead of Instagram. And I am telling you, it changes the game. There's something about Pinterest that makes you feel motivated and not completely like you aren't that girl on Instagram. I don't know. I've also just been an OG Tumblr girl forever, so I just feel like Pinterest has my heart. But change up your Pinterest, your Instagram, even your YouTube algorithm. Start watching videos that really inspire you or teach you something about the person that you want to become, right? Because there's probably a lot of things that you don't even know how to, embody or take action on when it comes to being this version of you. So let's say the girl that you want to be is really into weightlifting and she's doing her squats, she's doing her hip thrusts, she's doing her deadlifts now more into the gym more frequently, or she lives more of a city life, or she has this certain aesthetic, or she dresses this certain way. Well, maybe you don't know how to do that. So you're going on YouTube and you're finding people who teach you how to become this person as well. Or let's say you're wanting to step more into your girly era, the self-care routines, the nights in, or the home organization, those moms who do home organizations. I freaking love that. Whatever it is, go online and find those people and start watching them on your free time. I'm not saying watch them and force yourself, but if you are the type of person that watches YouTube in general, start watching people who are going to be basically a reflection of who you are trying to become. Because this is something when it comes to becoming a new version of you. On one hand, yes, you want to think about that version and you want to take action, but naturally we get inspired by people. So allow people to be your expander. Allow people to show you that it's possible to become this new version of you. So if I'm trying to be the it girl, if I'm trying to be that girl, if I'm trying to be a wellness girl, yes, I'm gonna be watching the wellness girlies. Yes, I am. Or if I want to start into the fitness journey more, then yes, I'm going on there and I'm watching the girls who do lifting videos or whatever it is. Or if I want to step more into my feminine energy, especially when it comes to relationships and dating, or learn how to set better expectations in relationships, whatever it is, then I'm going to be going online and finding people who are healthy, who talk about feminine energy and dating, or how to heal your feminine energy, or how to heal. For me personally, lately I've really been liking the 6 a.m. morning routines and productive vlogs and stuff like that, just to get me inspired, just to get my ass up, and I feel like everyone else is doing it with me. Things like that. Whatever you need, do it. Find it. I promise you it will be well worth it and it'll be very motivating. And I know we can't always rely on motivation, but yes, we can do that. And same thing goes with podcasts. If you are in your wellness era, then go find more podcasters that are talking about wellness topics that you're interested in. Educate yourself, take that action, and really infiltrate your mind with new information in this new version of you. Last thing when it comes to embodying her is changing your physical environment. Now this could be changing your space. This could be getting a new item to make you feel like you are this new version of her. And I mean, technically we can use the playlist and podcasting or YouTube as a form of changing your environment. But I think honestly, if you just think about your space or your room, can you change things? Can you do an organization? Can you just get yourself into this new vibe? For me personally, I changed around actually this part of my living room. I know you can't really see it, but you can see it on Instagram a little bit more than mirror, so that I can get ready to change my studio. That's something that the version of me who is my dream girl, she has the studio, it's done. Her space is exactly how she wants it. So I started doing that. I changed my environment. I'm gonna be filming a organization and decluttering, closet clean out and preparing for fall, because the version of me who is my dream girl is organized, has that already done. So for me, one of the items that the girl that I want to be has is these type of headphones, okay? Over the head headphones, that girl headphones. And listen, you do not need to buy a bunch of things and break the bank to become this new version of you. You literally could just buy one thing and that's it, or nothing at all, and just use playlists or just whatever, free resources. But if you want to, buy yourself something. So maybe it's headphones. And listen, I decided not to spend literally $1,000 on the AirPod Maxes right now because I have financial goals and I don't really want to drop $1,000 on them. So I found these ones and they were $100 and they're really, really good. And I'll also link them down below because they're actually amazing. So it didn't like cost me a lot. Maybe that's a lot to you, but for me with my budget, that wasn't a lot. Maybe you're buying a new planner so that you can kind of feel a little bit more motivated to get your stuff done. Or maybe you're just going on Notion and opening up a new Notion template so that you can plan your days or your weeks. Maybe you're buying a new piece of jewelry. Maybe you're getting a new hair clip. Maybe you are trying something new with your hair. Let me know in the comments down below if you are going to be doing anything in terms of incorporating any sort of material item or changing anything in your environment, what you are going to be doing, whether that costs anything or not. Just share it with the community. I think that will help others feel a little bit more inspired as well, depending on your aesthetic and what's gonna make you feel the best. So after you have sat down and you have journaled on who this person is, what does she think, what does she feel, how is her life looking, and you have now embodied this girl by making a mood board, you've set your playlist, you've got your material items, whatever it is that you are gonna curate this vibe for yourself. And listen, this can take a little bit of time. Give yourself a week or two to kind of, have fun with this. Now it's time to start to make a plan. So I think the best way to do this is to create monthly goals or monthly intentions, because the thing is, you're probably gonna have this long list or this long journal entry of everything about this version of you, right? And we're not gonna be able to just take action on every single thing, and nor do you need to. You take action on one area of your life, a lot of the times things kind of fall into place. You don't have to try very hard. So what I would suggest is setting at least 3 monthly intentions or goals. So that could be, let's say, one for your career, one for your wellness, one for your relationship, let's say. Obviously, it depends on who you're really trying to embody, but I think that it's just helpful to kind of keep it at 3. And then every single month you can look back and see, have you hit any goals, and adding more if you want. Now, what I will say for me personally, I have about 2 to 3 goals within the 3 areas that I have chosen, mainly though because I have already started to embody this person. So essentially, I'm just adding on to things that I've already implemented. So it's gonna really depend on where you're starting at. Like if you're already in your fitness journey, then maybe focusing on upping your weight. And on top of that, you're adding 1 Pilates class a week into your routine. Like that's 2 goals essentially for that area, but most likely it's gonna be easy for you to actually achieve that because you've already been in the process. So make your goals attainable and small. And once you start to take action on these goals, then you can add more things into your routine, but making sure that they're a habit first. So for me, for my career, I have a lot of different goals, and I've set a lot of different goals because I know that I can achieve them because I'm constantly always setting goals. So I'm not gonna read them all out, but 2 of them is to start posting 2 podcast videos a week on my podcast channel. So that is 1 monthly goal. But on top of that is to also rebrand the podcast studio in general. So essentially there's 2 for 1 pillar or 1 like big overarching theme, but I know that I will be able to get both of those done within the month. Now for my wellness goals, I want to do 1 Pilates class a week. I know that that is something that I can do and it's very doable, but I also have on there to drink more water. And I know that I'm gonna be able to focus on drinking more water because the Pilates adding in once a week, it's not too much of an overload when it comes to goals. But I will say with the water, because I haven't been drinking a lot of water, I'm gonna start slow with drinking water. So I'm not gonna tell myself to drink 8 glasses of water every single day starting tomorrow. No, although my dream version of me does that, I need to take the slow steps to get there. So I'm going to make sure to have at least 1 glass of water in the morning before I have my meal or before I have my coffee or whatever it is first, and as soon as that becomes a habit, then I can add more. Let's say you had a career goal and your career goal was to start posting content. Well, okay, if you haven't been posting content, for you to tell yourself, I'm gonna post 2 videos a week on YouTube because that's like maybe the standard, or I'm gonna post 5 times a week on TikTok because people say to do that. Well, if you've never done that, that might be too much. So start very small and attainable so that you can actually implement this into your daily life, because you have to think about this. The version of you that is fit, who is successful, who is a content creator, who does have a healthy relationship, whatever, all of those things are very sustainable and normal for her. So if fitness and healthy relationships or healthy communication or becoming a content creator and creating content all the time, if that is not a normal process of your day, you don't want to bombard yourself and add too many things on your plate, because then what's going to happen is you're going to feel like it's too big, and then you're going to be like, no, I can't do it. So after you have set your goals, the last part of becoming her is to take daily action. So here are the 3 things that are going to be so important for you to do on a daily basis. 1 is self-concept journaling. So in the morning, you are going to sit back down and you are going to come back to the version of you that you wrote out at the beginning of this video of how does she think, what are her boundaries, what does she think about herself, how are people showing up in her life, she's cherished, she's prioritized. Every morning you're going to write out that story essentially of who this girl is as if you are already her. So instead of writing she is, I want you to now write I am. I am prioritizing my relationships. I am cherished. I am loved. I am lovable. I am amazing. I am the it girl. I am consistent with my routines. I am focused when I am working. I am super productive. I take care of my health. I drink my water. You want to write from this place of you are her. And here's a quick little tip. If you are struggling with kind of believing that you are this person, you can write sort of like a bridging affirmation, I like to call it, which is instead of being like, I am prioritizing relationships, maybe you have all this evidence around you right now and you just feel like you're defeated and you're not being prioritized. You can write something like, I am starting to be prioritized in my relationships, or I am starting to put myself around people who do prioritize me, or I am starting to take action towards creating different revenue streams for myself, instead of you telling yourself that you might have them even if you don't, if that doesn't feel aligned to you. But also just know it's not gonna feel normal at first when you are writing these statements of I am cherished or I am loved, but the more times you do this every single morning, you will start to not only feel like that girl, but you will start to take action from that place. And that is why I'm saying every morning you need to do some sort of self-concept journaling, because this is the feeling state you want to get into. And listen, if you're not the biggest journaler, then you could use things like going on Pinterest. You can use things like listening to music or listening to a podcast to really inspire you to get in that energy again. Yes, but I really do think that the best thing that you could do is reprogram your own beliefs and thoughts about yourself, and be aware when you have these negative stories about what it is that you actually want, the person that you're trying to become, because what will happen is you'll have these negative stories come up and you want to be able to combat them yourself. No one else is going to do that. Even a podcast, they can get you in a mood. They're not going to be the ones to tell you that you are lovable and you are being prioritized. Only you can. So every morning when you're waking up and you're embodying this new version of yourself by writing and telling yourself a new story and continuously to keep your mind focused on who you want to be, you're going to now take action from that place. So based off of your goals for the month, you want to have a weekly and a daily planner of some sort where every day there's going to be some action that you're going to be taking towards this dream version of you. So maybe that day is creating a bunch of content ideas, or maybe it's filming your video for the first time, or maybe it's doing a research on your side hustle, or maybe it's communicating your needs to your partner, or maybe it's getting off your phone by 9 p.m. and reading your book and going to sleep instead of like worrying about if somebody's texting you back. Maybe it's finally purchasing some course that will teach you about feminine energy or whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Maybe it's you signing up for that Pilates class. Maybe it's you deciding to add one more glass of water before you have a meal. Every single day, I want you to do one thing that's going to bring you one step closer to that dream version of you. So this is the thing. You are gonna be inspired to be this version of you, and your playlist and your mood board and the energy shift for the season is gonna just really inspire you until there comes a point where you look around and you realize, I'm not seeing the results yet. I don't have the money in the bank account still. I'm lonely and I still don't have that person who's cherishing me. And that, my friend, is where you always end up falling off. And that is why you don't become her. Now, there's many reasons why you also don't become her, because maybe you haven't set the intentions the way that we are doing now. Like, that is for a lot of the reasons why I am not that person yet is because I haven't stepped into that chapter of my life. Doesn't mean that I fell off of a lot of things, but yes, there's so many things that I have fallen off of, or I've let the circumstances that are happening in my life be the reason why I give up. And I think this generation, this time, and honestly just living a life that we don't like, we tend to give up very easily. And, you know, the version of you who has what they want is on the other side of where you're at right now. You cannot let who you are right now and your circumstances and the things that you have manifested or you continue to manifest because of who you are dictate your future. So understand, even if you wake up and you're looking around for results or you're not, you know, thinking that you are that girl, this is where you need to change your mindset. She is coming, I am becoming her. Even if I do not see the results right now, they are on their way. You have to trust that. You have to drop that time urgency. When you have so much time urgency, when you have so much energy of I need it now, and if not, then I can't be happy, it's gonna prolong your results. And on top of that, you're gonna start falling off of your goals. And realistically, you wanna be doing these habits, you wanna become this person as a way of life. All of the external things are gonna be a byproduct of you becoming who you are meant to be. And listen, you didn't come here to not live out your desires. You have desires for a reason. You are attracted to certain aesthetics, attracted to certain people, attracted to certain lives, wanting certain feelings for a reason. You can have that. Do not sell yourself short. Don't get in your own way. And listen, if you need a video, if you struggle with giving up on your goals and getting in your own way, I highly suggest you go and watch my video, and it's called How to Rewrite Your Story and Shift into Your Dream Life. I think that video is very complimentary to this video that we have right now, because there's gonna be a time and a point, whether it's next week or the week after that or the week after that, or when shit's not going right, or you know, it's really cold in the mornings and you are not motivated to get up and become that person that you know you should be on your vision board. That's gonna be the video for you, because you need to keep going even when your circumstances say, nope, you are not that girl. This is the time to be delusional, and this is not being dangerously delusional. This is about looking past your certain circumstances, okay? It takes time for you to get the body. It takes time for you to build a dream career. It takes time for you to build healthy relationships. So do not give up, even when you feel like it's not happening. Work on your self-concept every single morning. Use external things like podcasts, music, items, even friendships, new energy to keep you motivated and keep you inspired. And do not forget to take action from that place. You will start to see small and big things change in your reality once you start to become this person. Even if you don't fully feel like her now, even if you're looking in the mirror and you're like, but am I really that girl with my headphones? Like, you know, like these headphones, like I guess I'm that girl, but am I really that girl? Guess what? You are that girl as soon as you tell yourself you are that girl. No one else. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you. Stop waiting to have the followers, the money, the whatever for you to be happy. Be happy now. Become that version of you right now. And one last thing, I am going to be that person on that journey with you. And, you know, going through the weeks and the months of you becoming this person, you becoming this version of you, you can use me as your guide and your inspiration, along with actually just being somebody who is doing it with you by subscribing to my channel so that you can see new videos every single week. We're gonna be in the productive era. We're gonna be getting things done. Let me know in the comments as well, anything else you guys want me to talk about. Also, again, I have a podcast, the Glow Seekers podcast. Check that out. Perfect for your hot girl walks, and all the links to everything that I talked about will be down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.